As we come to the end of another triad in the Songs of Ascent, we once again find ourselves focused on the pilgrim's destination upon Jerusalem. And despite the ridicule of the arrogant and the contempt of the proud that they had to endure, which we read of back in Psalm 123, despite the need for the protection of the Lord to keep his pilgrim people safe along the journey, that protection that featured so heavily in Psalm 124, we've made it. We've made it to the place of safety, to Mount Zion, to Jerusalem. And in Psalm 125, that place of destination becomes a picture of God's pilgrim people. Look with me at verse 1. The psalmist writes, "Those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be shaken, but endures forever." Here the psalmist compares believers, those who trust in the Lord, to Mount Zion. And he says there's a stability and endurance to them. After all, mountains, they're not here today, gone tomorrow sorts of things, are they? But the psalmist is also clear that the believers, they aren't unshakable because there's something special about them. Rather, they are unshakable because there is something special about the one they trust. Verse 2, "As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people, both now and forevermore." I'm not quite tech savvy enough to put a map into this video, but if you have a quick Google, you can see how Old Jerusalem is surrounded by mountains. There's the Mount of Olives, Mount Scopus, the Western Hill, Mount Ophel, the Antonia Fortress Hill, and a few others scattered around. And just as these mountains surround Jerusalem, protecting the city, the psalmist says, so God surrounds his people as he protects them. It's a picture of wonderful security. The wonderful security that the pilgrim psalmist enjoyed as he arrived in Jerusalem. And the wonderful security that we will one day enjoy when our pilgrimage ends in the New Jerusalem. And wonderfully, when we are there, verse 3 tells us that the scepter of the wicked will not remain over the land allotted to the righteous. Evil, wickedness will have no more. Its influence will be over. And that is wonderful for all sorts of reasons. But the reason Psalm 125 picks out might not be the first one that comes to our mind. See how verse 3 continues. Continues with these words, "For then the righteous might use their hands to do evil." You see, while wickedness remains, we might be tempted to join in and sin. But on this day, wickedness will be no more, which means we will no longer face the danger of self-destruction. You see, in the New Jerusalem, not only will we be secure, but we will also be free from sin. What a wonderful place it will be. And yet we're not there yet, and despite our psalmist reaching his destination, getting to Jerusalem, well, he wasn't there either. And so he prayed in verse 4, "Lord, do good to those who are good, to those who are upright in heart." And I think the substance of that prayer is this: to those who are upright in heart, that is, to those who trust you, God, well, do good to them by preventing them from falling into the sin of verse 3. And he prays that because he knows, verse 5, that those who turn to crooked ways, those the Lord will banish with the evildoers. Because he knows that the time of judgment, the time when wickedness is dealt with, is coming, and those who turn away from the Lord will be banished from the place of safety along with the evildoers. But because they will be gone, there is hope for peace to be upon Israel, for peace to be upon God's people as they enjoy that security, as they enjoy that freedom from sin, as they enjoy that no longer being under the influence of wickedness. We will get there one day, and until that day, we can look forward to it. We can have a hope in the security of heaven, when the ridicule of the arrogant and the contempt of the proud will be no more, where we will no longer need the law's protection on the journey, because we will have arrived in the place of safety, enwrapped by him, and where the temptation to self-destructively join in the wicked will be no more. What a wonderful place that will be. What a wonderful thing to look forward to. And as we look forward, what do? Well, we pray. We pray that the Lord would preserve us so that we might enjoy the peace that he is bringing to all his people. Why not take a moment to do that now, to use the words perhaps of Psalm 125 and pray that the Lord would preserve you until you enjoy this peace on that day.